NNPC Limited affirms no discrepancy between its crude oil production figures and those supplied by regulatory agency. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, advocates collective action on timely prosecution of perpetrators of gender-based violence.
So what we should start doing is to engage the dry season as much as we are engaging the rainy season.
Farmers express optimism over National Agri-Show impact on Nigeria's agricultural abundance. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on Nta News 24, live from Abuja. I am Stella Inamiti. The federal government has directed the adoption of technology-driven strategies to combat terrorism, cybercrime, and border security challenges facing Nigeria and the entire African continent. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the directive during a courtesy visit by members of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 17 from the National Institute for Security Studies. This report will come in our subsequent bulletins. And still on security, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, says mass casualty and public health emergency can be minimized in times of disasters if managers of disasters are fully equipped with all the necessary training and mitigation strategies. Malam Nuhu Ribadu stated this at a two-day training on mass casualty and public health emergency management component. The training is organized by the Medical Department Office of the National Security Advisor in collaboration with the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
The training drew participants from the Office of the National Security Advisor, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, the military, police, and other paramilitary, Ministry of Health, international donor agencies, British Council, and other intervening agencies. Malam Nuhu Ribadu maintained that rapid response and mitigation strategies in the event of disasters is achievable if necessary impetus are put in place to carry out necessary actions, while emphasizing the need for participants to pay close attention to all the strategic components of the training, as knowledge is power.
This practical approach is crucial in honing the skills required to manage real-world emergencies.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Zubaida Umar said, the agency is open to whatever innovation that may be initiated to avert mass casualties being experienced in the event of disasters.
The primary objective of this simulation exercise is therefore to identify existing gaps in our emergency response systems and, most importantly, to provide participants insights and necessary tools to address these inadequacies.
Our engagement this week is part of our commitment to partner with Nigeria. On his recent visit to Nigeria, our Foreign Secretary was delighted to sign a strategic partnership between our two nations, a partnership which recognises the deep historical ties.
Training is expected to continue with simulation of what must have been deliberated upon for proper internalization and mainstreaming of the training. In Abuja, Ilyasu Yakubu, Nta News.
Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, says collective action across all sectors of the society is needed to aid reporting and timely prosecution of perpetrators of gender-based violence. This is contained in her statement marking the 2024 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. She describes gender-based violence as one of the most widespread human rights violations against women worldwide, with harmful practices such as child marriage and female genital mutilation still prevalent and often justified by cultural or religious norms in Nigeria. While noting that remarkable progress is being made against gender-based violence, the First Lady, however, notes that many women and girls, especially in rural and underserved areas, still remain trapped in these cycles of violence and inequality. She says the yearly commemoration must be seen as a call to action for everyone to challenge harmful behaviors, adding that formal education for the girl child remains the key to liberating them and helping them make informed choices. The First Lady also called for increased support for victims and survivors towards creating safer environments for women and girls. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited, has clarified that there is no discrepancy between its crude oil production figures and those supplied by the regulatory agency. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Company, NUPRC, the company gave the clarification against the backdrop of reports in a section of the media that the 1.54 million barrels per day for September cited by the NUPRC was far below the 1.8 million barrels per day for November cited by the NNPC Limited. A statement by Olufemi Shone, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, said the seeming disparity is as a result of the difference in the period of coverage in the report, stressing that whereas the NNPC Limited's figure was the peak production for October 2024, the NUPRC's figure was the average production for September 2024. This fact was confirmed by the Chief Executive Officer of NUPRC, Benga Komolafe, at the recent 42nd Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists Annual International Conference and Exhibition in Lagos, where he disclosed that Nigeria's crude oil output, including condensate, increased by 16.56% to 1.8 million barrels per day in October 2024, from 1.54 million barrels per day in September 2024. The CEO of NUPRC, represented by the Executive Commissioner, Development and Production, Enorense Amadasu, said there is therefore no disparity or discrepancy in the production figures by NNPC Limited and the regulator. NNPC Limited, the statement says, is working closely with relevant stakeholders to boost production to 2 million barrels per day and above by the end of 2024. And in the same development, the Dangote Group has been commended for reducing the price from 990 naira per litre to 970 naira per litre. Giving the commendation, the Christian Youth Forum described the gesture as a clear demonstration of the company's commitment to the welfare and well-being of the masses. In a statement signed by its president, Reverend Joshua Palm, the Christian Youth Forum praised Aliko Dangote's selfless and philanthropic acts, which have been a source of inspiration to many. The reduction in fuel prices, according to the group, will have a significant impact on Nigerians, particularly during the Christmas celebrations. Palm said the reduction in fuel prices will also have a positive impact on the cost of goods and services as fuel prices drop. The cost of transportation and production will also decrease, leading to a reduction in the prices of goods and services. The group urged other stakeholders in the petroleum industry to emulate the Dangote Group's example and reduce their prices to make life easier for Nigerians. Meanwhile, Nigeria's GDP grew by 3.46% in real terms in Q3 2024, higher than 2.54% in Q3 2023 and 3.19% in Q2 2024. Data released by the National Bureau of Statistics says the services sector, with a growth rate of 5.19%, was the primary driver, contributing 53.58% to the GDP. In real terms, GDP stood at 20.12 trillion naira, up from 18.29 trillion naira in Q2 2024 and 19.44 trillion naira in Q3 2023. Nominal GDP was 71.13 trillion naira, reflecting 17.26% year-on-year growth. Key contributors to real GDP were crop production 26.51%, trade 14.78%, telecommunication 13.94%, crude petroleum 5.57%, and real estate 5.43%. Among the broad sectors, agriculture grew by 1.14%, industry by 2.18%, and services by 5.19%. Agriculture contributed 28.65%, industry 17.77%, and services 53.58%, with the services sector showing the largest year-on-year improvement. The oil sector grew by 5.17%, contributing 5.57% to GDP, with daily production at 1.47 million barrels per day. The non-oil sector contributed 94.43%, driven by crop production, trade, telecommunication, and real estate. Farmers across the country are already converging on Abuja Kefi Road showground for the 16th edition of the National Agricultural Show to reflect on collective commitment to enhancing food security. Dr. Alabi reports that some early comers from the states expressed optimism that this year's convergence will herald a robust ecosystem to consolidate on the present gains to transform Nigeria into a powerhouse of agricultural abundance.
The Agricultural Show is a platform to celebrate the heart of Nigeria's agricultural sector, the farmers, and underscores collective commitment to harness the largely untapped potentials in meeting the demands of a growing population.
While we do the local farmers, we also do those who have been able to organize themselves and be able to add value to whatever they've been doing over the years. And these people are in AFAN. And that's why we're happy to have most AFAN members participating.
So what we should start doing is to engage the dry season as much as we're engaging the rainy season. The next level of food security is not only feeding yourself, but getting money from the excess that you are able to produce.
While the show formally opens on Tuesday, participants believe giving smallholder farmers incentives is key to Nigeria's attainment of food security in 2025.
We have standardized our machines. We have done a lot of improvements on our machines, and we brought many of them to showcase what we are doing. And our mandate is to mechanize Nigerian agriculture.
Last year's program was a success, and Ogun State's team from Value Chain Development Program, VCDP, we are trying to build on that.
Firdaus Muhammad is an agripreneur who exports agricultural products, and she's excited to participate for the first time to showcase her produce and the opportunities for young farmers.
It was my second year into the agribusinesses. Nigeria used to import a lot of wheat from outside the country. So we say that if we start producing more wheat seed, the importation of wheat, it will reduce. And that will really help the economy to develop, and it will really help our currency to have more value.
Apart from leveraging collaborations and innovations to increase investments in agriculture, the show is to share knowledge, resources and tools to achieve Nigeria's food security goals. From the Agri-Show ground in Nasarawa State, Tokbe Alabi, Nta News.
And this is News Desk at 6 on Nta News 24. We'll take a short break now. We'll be back with more news.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News 24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Imagine going a day without food, not because you're fasting, but for lack of money and income. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria are emphatic that this key indicator from the General Household Survey by the National Bureau of Statistics must be mitigated through increased food production. Lydia Sampson reports.
The General Household Survey is generating conversation on the realities facing households, individuals and communities. While guests on Good Morning Nigeria differs on the scope, they are unanimous on the criticality of data to ensuring sustainable development.
Consumption pattern of Nigerian changes from season to season. You don't expect people to consume the same item during the post-planting and the same item during, there will be some variation. So that's why we need to study those households after post-planting as well as post-harvest.
The proper thing is that when you want to collect data, for development purposes, it has to be real time. Okay, what should have happened is that MBS should have been able to now have infrastructure at the local government levels that generate this data on a daily basis.
The General Household Survey is mainly geared towards assessing the resilience of Nigerian households. The National Bureau of Statistics says there are various surveys cutting across various indicators and challenges which can be interpreted by organizations or individuals.
So we need an economy that is able to feed its people. We are on the precipice now from the data of that study that indicates that out of about 12-point-something households, one individual goes without food the whole day. You can you can extend that into the public space and multiply by actual figure.
And also, the Bureau of Statistics must tell the Nigerians that state that doesn't have SBS is very necessary. We need to know that, because it's unfortunate to have a state that doesn't have bureau. Then what are they using? What tools are they using to govern?
The guests are categorical that the lacuna of 5 states not captured in the survey cannot be ignored. They still believe this does not erode the value of the General Household Survey and data. Going forward, they suggest holistic research corridors with wider coverage. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
Now we move on to health matters. A new dawn is about to cast for victims of conjoined twins as professionals cutting across international climes are making practicable resolutions at the first World Conjoined Twins Day 2024 to drive conversations in meeting both health and social needs of patients. Abubakar Kwanga reports that King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center is setting the base for the paradigm shift.
It is a fresh start for another round of experts' debate on the future of conjoined twins, and Princess Mai and Anne Manzo, a third-year college students, are separated conjoined twins and brought to the stage as a testimony of a broken barrier. Today, they are physically separated and could stand side by side with a middle party and eat from a different plate, even as they remain siblings of same photos. Just like them, many in this hall share the same testimony that calls for global action in the management and prevention of such medical circumstance that comes with heavy financial burden. Gopal Mitra is a global lead on disability and development with UNICEF and shared his thoughts on tackling such health cases, putting King Salman's name on the marble.
For us in UNICEF, it is important that every child, everywhere, have the opportunity to survive and thrive. When we mean thrive, not only survive for sure, yes, but to also lead meaningful lives and realize their full potential.
Nigeria is not left out, as Dr. Yusuf Nadabu, a former lecturer with the Faculty of Medicine, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, said the country has vast knowledge and experience to key into scientific diversities with results in sight.
Here in Nigeria, we also have highly skilled, specialized pediatric surgeons who had performed wonderful surgeries, like Professor Awal Abubakar of Federal Medical Center, Yola, who had successfully separated 3 conjoined twins.
9 agreements has been signed, and all of them serve the children, whether conjoined twin or children in different areas. One of them, for example, fighting polio in Afghanistan. Second, supporting children in area of health and water and sanitation in Gaza.
Teams of experts at the Saudi Arabia International Conference on Conjoined Twins, now concluding in Riyadh, agreed that conjoined twins can be diagnosed using routine ultrasound as early as 7 to 12 weeks of pregnancy, and suggest care and psychological support when scoliosis, cerebral palsy, or learning disabilities occur at a later stage. In Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
In a bold and decisive operation, the air component of Operation Hardin Kai has delivered a crushing blow to terrorist elements in Jubilaram, a notorious enclave in the Tunguns area of the Lake Chad Basin. The strategic location, identified through meticulous intelligence efforts, served as a critical food storage site and a sanctuary for terrorist commanders and fighters. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Olushola Akimboiwa, indicates that intelligence had previously linked terrorists in this location to recent attacks, including the assault on troops of Kareto on 16th of November 2024. In response, Nigerian Air Force fighter jets launched a robust air interdiction mission, destroying identified structures used as storage facilities and neutralizing terrorists on site. Mop-up operations using cannons ensured the complete elimination of fleeing hostiles. The operation's success was made possible by extensive intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance mission conducted over several days, confirming the presence of active terrorist structures camouflaged under dense vegetation. The destruction of the terrorist enclave, including food storage facilities, severely disrupted their logistical operations, while the neutralization of a significant number of fighters diminished their capacity to launch future attacks. The mission demonstrates the NAF's unwavering commitment to defending our nation and the people, acting singly and supporting surface forces in counter-terrorism operations. The NAF will sustain these robust, independent and joint operations until all enemies of Nigeria's prosperity and well-being are brought to justice. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says the revival of the People's Democratic Institute, the training and research arm of the party, was long overdue. stressing that the party must be built on ideas before discussing the 2027 general election. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that a coalition of PDP intellectuals, however, takes a different position, proffering a clear-cut solution for the party's return to its old winning days.
From the National Working Committee of the PDP to some of its organs, the People's Democratic Institute, they believe, will further propel PDP and help showcase what the party stands for.
The PDI is a very important and integral part of our party that is poised to contribute towards the development of our party, its policies and ideologies, as well as promoting the democratic ethos in Nigeria and in Africa.
As we approach 2027, and by revitalizing the PDI, that real hope is being provided for our people.
Let us move away from building ideas on self, on ambition. You cannot have an ambition if we don't have a party. We cannot have a party if we don't have ideas. This is where it starts from.
However, to reposition the PDP and return it to its old winning days, a coalition of PDP intellectuals worldwide at a media briefing in Abuja noted that the party must zone 2027 presidency to the south, believing that it will go a long way to unite the party through equity, fairness, and justice.
As we build up to 2027, we are staunchly warning the leaders of our party that this time we must put party interests first and above all. We must return party to the southern part of this country.
Members emphasized that there are competent and dedicated PDP men and women who can effectively run the affairs of the country and make Nigeria better. Timothy Yusuf, Nta News.
And that report concludes the news desk at 6 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella Inameti.